Police in North America have a well-documented history, which helps us understand how its role transformed in protecting the safety and security of our communities. Law enforcement has evolved significantly since 1829, when Sir Robert Peel issued his general instructions to every new police officer. Sir Robert Peel's 9 policing principles are foundational. He used the term public 10 times. In today's language, public refers to the community, highlighting the critical relationship between the police and the community they serve. It means policing as a whole was always intended to be community-oriented, focused on using crime prevention strategies and the necessity of a positive relationship between the police and the community. Robert Peel underscored that the police are merely paying full attention to what is everyone's shared responsibility. The term community policing came into use in the late 20th century when police moved towards reactive strategies, focusing more on incident response rather than proactive crime prevention. In response to these problems and losing community trust, many police departments in the United States began experimenting with what would become known as community policing in the 1980s. The focus then was to influence policing styles, focusing on how officers interacted with and worked alongside the community. Research shows that these efforts in the name of community policing often resulted in creating 2 separate silos within the agencies, traditional policing on one side and community policing on the other. This siloed approach led to a dysfunctional distinction between real policing and soft policing. It wasn't until the first 2 decades of the 21st century that researchers, criminologists, and policing leaders extensively clarified that community policing is not about being soft on crime. It's not a cure-all solution, a specialized unit, or merely a program, activity, or designated officer. It's not just neighborhood barbecues, a public relations strategy, or simply about police explaining their actions to the community. Researchers and policing experts have concluded that the term community policing wasn't meant to imply something separate from policing. Rather, the inclusion of community was intended to highlight what policing should have always been. Fortunately, the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police took a significant step in 2010 by introducing the Ontario Mobilization and Engagement Model, OMEM. This marked the first organized approach to integrating community policing with an emphasis on community safety and security. This model has since evolved into the Community Safety and Well-Being framework, which focuses on community safety and well-being through collaboration with other agencies and communities. This is a real transformation in policing, which means finding ways to actualize Robert Peel's principles and focus on the public are the police and the police are the public. This rapid evolution in the 21st century occurred as police agencies realized that most of their time and effort was not spent doing law enforcement, but rather addressing social disorder and solving problems. The gradual transformation in policing happened in the last 10 years with this realization that besides law enforcement, a police agency has to collaborate with community and social service agencies, sharing information, access, power and authority, resources, and efforts to reduce risk factors that may lead to crime or social disorder, long before those risk factors turn into harmful offenses. The introduction of the Community Safety and Well-Being Framework is facilitating this transformation. Police agencies have learned that applying the CSW framework helps them integrate the community in every aspect of the organization, rather than attending community events or seeking public input into police decisions. The holistic and transformative policing model, based on the CSW framework, requires practical actions, specialized police practices, and partnerships across 4 levels of intervention. In this model, incident response is just one part of the equation. Today, transformative community safety is a blend of traditional law enforcement tactics, community problem solving, and a risk-oriented approach. It is built on equitable partnerships between police agencies, other organizations, businesses, and community members. It means for a police service to be relevant beyond law enforcement in the fast-changing world, it has to be about initiating, motivating, mobilizing, engaging, supporting, and facilitating the efforts of the many community members and organizations that play a key role in the spheres of risk mitigation, prevention, and social development. Similarly, all other actors in the community safety and well-being web need to be mindful of their role as conveners for mobilizing community action to address the social determinants of health, which mitigates risks and prevents crime and social disorder. The closer the alignment to the CSWB framework, the stronger the collaboration between all the actors in this web and their deeper impact on the community's safety and well-being.